Good morning, friend. The day opens softly over your kitchen table, steam lifts from your cup, the house takes its first easy breath, and your blood pressure monitor waits beside a small notepad like a promise you can actually keep. I'm glad you're here. At EverWell USA, our mission is steady and simple, better health and deeper dignity in the years that matter most. We keep that promise with calm stories you can feel and small actions you can try today. If this gentle company helps you feel safer or just a little less alone, please like, subscribe, and share so a neighbor can find their way here too. You are not alone. We're right here with you, one quiet breath at a time. And this morning we'll turn a single minute into something useful. What if I told you the truth of your blood pressure often lives between the first and the second reading? Not after a month of effort, not after a new prescription, just one extra minute that turns a noisy number into a clearer story. It sounds almost too simple, especially if you've carried worry from jumpy readings in the past. But that is today's relief. A small routine, done morning and evening, can steady your data and calm the room around your heart. Before we begin, one gentle promise to keep you safe. This video is educational. We don't diagnose or prescribe. Your decisions about medicines and targets belong with your clinician who knows your story. Here, we practice a way to measure that gives you and your care team better information, so choices feel shared instead of guessed. Picture an ordinary morning you've lived 100 times. The fridge hums, light touches the edge of the table. You sit in your steady chair and let your back settle. Your feet find the floor. Your forearm rests at the level of your heart, palm open and relaxed. You've already learned how a kind setup helps your numbers tell the truth. Now we add the rhythm that keeps them honest over time. 2 readings, 1 minute apart, morning and evening, written down in the same place for 7 days. Here is why the second reading matters. The first number often carries leftover noise. Your body finding the chair, your shoulders letting go, your breath remembering it doesn't have to help with everything. In that first squeeze, tiny muscles are still on duty. By the second, they've stepped back. The difference can be small or surprisingly kind, but it's real and it's yours. When you repeat that pair at the other end of the day, quiet morning, quiet evening, you gather moments that match, and matching moments turn into a pattern your clinician can trust. You might recognize yourself in this. Maybe you've measured once, seen a number you didn't like, and felt a stone land in your stomach. Maybe you measured again and it climbed higher because fear itself can lift pressure for a minute. You are not doing anything wrong. You're human in a room with a machine. Today we soften the moment so it serves you. We give your body a chance to settle, and we give your mind something to hold besides worry. A plan. Let a small life anchor make this real. After breakfast, your grandchild's drawing on the fridge makes you smile. You set your phone face down so nothing hurries you. You breathe the way you fog a mirror and wipe it clean. The cuff sits on your upper arm, smooth on bare skin. The little arrow turned toward the inside where your pulse runs. You press the button and feel the first firm squeeze. When the numbers appear, you do not rush to judge them. You stay as you are, quiet and supported, and wait 1 full minute, the length of a slow verse in an old song. You press the button again. The second set of numbers arrives like a calmer voice answering the door. Now you write both in your notebook or phone note with the time, morning, 2 readings, 1 minute apart, no speeches. Just a line that will still make sense next week. In the evening, you repeat the pair before the day gets noisy again, before television drama, before long calls, ideally after you've been sitting a few minutes. Morning and evening bookend the day like 2 hands holding a photo steady so it doesn't blur. If you skip a moment because life got loud, you do not scold yourself. You simply return to the next pair. 7 days is not a test you pass or fail. It is a story you collect. And stories make better decisions than single numbers do. You may feel a tug to complicate this more times, more rules, more pressure to be perfect. You don't need that. You need repeatable moments. Choose the same chair, the same arm, the same calm posture, the same 2 readings a minute apart. That sameness is not boring. It's dignity. It lets you walk into an appointment with a small page of paired numbers that look like they belong to the same person on the same planet. Your clinician can work with that. So can your heart. There's tenderness here, too. Perhaps you've had mornings when the first reading startled you and the whole day felt tilted. Perhaps you've carried that feeling to bed. Let this new rhythm be kinder. Let the second reading be your second chance inside the same minute. Let the evening pair be your way of closing the book on the day with a simple, steady line instead of a cliffhanger. A word of safety stands beside all of this, like a friend by your shoulder. If severe symptoms ever appear, new crushing, chest pain, sudden hard breath, weakness or numbness on one side, words that won't come, you don't spend a second with a cuff. You call for help. Most days won't ask for that kind of choice. Most days will ask for quiet, posture, 2 readings, 1 minute apart, and a place to write them down. Before we close, part 1, leave yourself with one small action while the room is still gentle. Pick a morning time you can keep after you sit down with your first cup. Before medicines, if that is your routine. Pick an evening time you can honor before television, before bed, after a few minutes of sitting. Put a notebook and pen by the monitor or open a simple note on your phone. Sit in your steady posture. Take your first reading. Wait 1 minute without talking or crossing your legs. Take your second reading. Write them both with the time. That's it. 2 readings, 1 minute apart, morning and evening, and you've begun your 7-day story. Tomorrow, you'll add 2 more lines. By the end of the week, you won't be guessing. You'll be holding the calm proof that your body gave you 1 minute at a time. The afternoon drifts in with the easy quiet of a house that knows your footsteps. A clock ticks somewhere you can't quite see. The sound is gentle, like a metronome for calm. You slide the chair a breath closer to the table, set the monitor where the cord won't tug, and let your forearm find that familiar resting place at the level of your heart. Morning gave you the rhythm. Now we make it feel natural enough that your hands can do it on a day when your thoughts are busy. Think of your 2 readings as 2 photographs taken a minute apart. The first picture still carries the rustle of settling in tiny muscles, letting go, shoulders learning they don't have to help, breath remembering its own pace. The second picture is the room after everyone has found their seat. Nothing magical happens in 60 seconds. It's simply enough time for the noise to step back so the signal can speak. Your body likes this kind of kindness. It's the same reason tea tastes better when the kettle finishes its song instead of being hurried off the stove. You sit tall without stiffness, feet planted and quiet, palm open, bicep near your side like you're holding a sleeping bird. The cuff is already in place, smooth on bare skin, a finger or 2 above the elbow bend, the little arrow turned toward the soft inside of your upper arm. You press the button once and feel the cuff squeeze with a firm, brief embrace. When the numbers appear, you don't argue with them or celebrate them. You let them be a first photo. You stay exactly as you are and give yourself 1 honest minute before the second. If a timer helps, tap the one on your phone and set it face down. If you prefer the old way, count 6 slow breaths, each in-breath like fog on a mirror, each out-breath like wiping it clean. No talking, no crossing your legs, no checking a message that can wait. The minute is part of the measurement, not a pause from it. A life anchor arrives on its own. The evening news murmurs from the living room, but you've lowered the volume and turned the screen away. You can still hear the world, yet you've given this small corner permission to be unhurried. Somewhere outside, a neighbor's dog barks once and then remembers its manners. The timer taps the table with a soft tone. You press the button again. The second reading arrives like a calmer voice answering the door. Sometimes the second number sits a little lower, as if your body sighed. Sometimes it sits close to the first, proof that you were already still. And sometimes it climbs a notch because worry decided to visit during the quiet minute. All 3 outcomes are honest. What matters is that you don't chase a perfect value by measuring over and over. You take 2, 1 minute apart and write them down with the time. Your page is a story. Stories don't get better by rewriting the same sentence 20 times. They get better when you keep turning pages. You may remember mornings when a single high reading tilted the whole day. Let's rewrite that feeling right here. If the first number startles you, give thanks that a second is coming. If the second still sits higher than you hoped, notice your posture. Are your feet quietly on the floor? Is your arm truly at heart level? Is the cuff smooth and even? And then write both numbers anyway. Patterns swallow spikes. 7 days of pairs, morning and evening, will tell a truth no single moment can. You are not ignoring outliers. You are refusing to be ruled by them. There's a bit of friendly science under your ribs as you do this. Standing, talking, crossing your legs, even holding your arm in the air asks tiny helpers in your body to tighten. Tightness nudges pressure up the way a small hill nudges your heartbeat. The first reading still hears the echoes of those helpers. The second usually hears more of you. You don't need to say the names of any systems or memorize any pathways. You only need the shape of the minute and the feel of the chair holding your back. If you live with someone, let them be part of the calm. Tell a grandchild that your number's like quiet and invite them to become the minute keeper, timing the gap while you sit dignified. And still, if you live alone, you can let a kitchen clock keep time for you or count your breaths the way waves count the shore. If a phone alarm startles your shoulders up near your ears, pick a softer sound. Everything about this routine is designed to make the body feel held, not tested. Your notebook opens to the right page almost by itself now. You date the line and write what belongs there. Morning, 2 readings, a minute between them. Evening, 2 readings, a minute between them. If you like, add a few plain words that explain the moment: coffee later than usual, short walk before dinner, felt tense after a phone call so your clinician can see the day the numbers lived inside. Keep the words brief and honest. This isn't a diary for poetry. It's a map for safe choices. You might notice an urge to average the 2 readings right away, to turn them into one cleaner number. You can if it helps you feel calm, but you don't have to do the math now. Record them side by side and let the pattern do its work over the week. In many homes, the simple act of pairing and recording does more for peace of mind than any calculation. What your clinician needs most is consistency. Same chair, same arm, same posture, same 2 readings a minute apart, same times each day. From that sameness, the real picture grows. Let tenderness walk with you here. There will be days when the minute feels long and legs want to cross from habit. There will be evenings when a call runs over and you measure a little later than planned. You are not failing. You are living. Turn the page and begin again at the next morning. The rhythm forgives you as easily as the ocean forgives a stone. Routine loves returners. Before we close, part 2, give yourself one tiny action that locks the habit into place. Set a gentle alarm titled 2 readings, 1 minute for the same morning and evening windows you chose yesterday. Place your notebook and pen under the monitor so your hand meets them without looking. Or, if you prefer your phone, pin a note at the top with today's date already typed so you can add the numbers without searching. Tonight, when the house is quiet and your chair remembers your back, take your evening pair. Press once, breathe through the soft minute, press again, write both, and allow the page to carry the weight you used to put on a single number. Tomorrow has room for more calm than you think when the day begins, with a plan your hands already know. Early evening leans through the curtains, and the house feels like it has taken its shoes off. A neighbor's laugh drifts from the sidewalk. Somewhere a dog tags the end of its leash against a fence. You set a glass of water beside the monitor and open your notebook to the page where morning's 2 numbers are already waiting in a tidy line. This is the quiet middle of the week when many good plans wander. Tonight, we make yours simple enough to keep even on a scattered day. You sit the way your body now understands, back supported, feet grounded, forearm resting at the level of your heart, palm soft. The cuff finds its place on bare skin without fuss, the way a familiar coat sleeve finds your wrist. You press the button once and let the first reading arrive without commentary. It is only a photograph of a single moment. You stay exactly as you are and let a full minute pass, the long, friendly kind that you can count in 6 slow breaths. No crossing your legs, no scrolling, no talking to the room, just stillness that belongs to you. Then the second reading appears, a companion picture taken after the air has settled. You write both numbers with the time and hear the small click inside when a habit becomes muscle memory. A phone buzzes with a family update and you smile but leave it face down. The minute you protect between measurements is not a delay. It is part of the measuring itself. The way letting paint dry is part of painting. The truth often lives in that second picture. Sometimes it sits right beside the first, sometimes it drifts a little lower as if your shoulders exhaled. Either way, the pairing matters more than the single. Over 7 days, pairs line up into a pattern that looks like your life instead of a guess. A memory floats in from a different year. One quick reading before you rushed out the door. A number that startled you. A day tilted by worry you carried alone. You forgive that version of yourself and thank them for trying. You thank this version for choosing a gentler way. 2 calm readings, 1 minute apart, morning and evening, recorded in the same place, give you something steadier to hold than fear. They also give your clinician something to trust. You are no longer arriving with a handful of moments, you are bringing a small map. Life taps on the window, as it always does. Perhaps tonight's dinner sits a little later than usual. Perhaps a friend calls just as you reach for the cuff. Perhaps you skip a pair because the house is loud and your patience is thin. The plan doesn't break when a day bends. You do not make up for a missed morning by stacking extra measurements at night. You simply return to the next pair at the next calm window and write those down. Routine loves returners. 7 days is not a contest. It is a conversation. Let a small scene anchor the feeling you call a grandchild to ask about spelling words, and before you dial, you put your pen on the notebook line where tonight's numbers will live. You measure first, quietly, then call. While they read their list, you glance at the page and see how the morning and evening lines sit like bookends for the day. It makes sense in a way that a single number never did. You don't need averages or charts right now. You need consistency. Same chair, same arm, same posture, same gap, same 2 moments each day. Patterns swallow spikes, and spikes that don't fit the pattern become questions you can carry to your appointment instead of worries you carry to bed. Kindness walks with you here. If you feel temptation to chase a perfect value by pressing the button again and again, remember that you're building a picture, not hunting a trophy. Take the pair, close the notebook, drink a little water, and let the day be done. If the first number startles you, be grateful that the second is already on its way. If the second still sits higher than you hoped, check your posture with a friendly eye, feet flat, arm at heart level, cuff smooth, and write both anyway. The work is not perfection. The work is honesty. There is room for safety in all of this, because courage and care share a table. If a severe symptom ever arrives, crushing chest pain, sudden hard breath, new weakness or numbness, words that won't come, you do not spend a second with a cuff. You call for help. Most evenings will not ask for that. Most evenings will ask for exactly what your hands did just now. 2 calm readings, 1 minute apart, written down without drama. Before the light fades, leave one small action for your future self. On the first line of tonight's entry, write the words, day 3 of 7, or whatever day you're on, then circle it so tomorrow's eyes can find the thread again. If you use your phone, rename the note with the dates of your 7-day window so the week has a doorway. When you close the notebook and set the cuff open and ready for morning, say the quiet sentence that keeps this simple. I measure twice so the second can tell the truth, and I write it down so the week can speak. Sunday evening drifts in soft and familiar, and the notebook on your table looks a little like a travel journal. Short lines, steady dates, the kind of record that turns feelings into something you can hold. You slide into the chair, your back now trusts, rest your forearm at the level of your heart, and let the room quiet itself around you. The cuff wraps without argument. You press the button once and watch the first reading land like a snapshot. You breathe through the long, easy minute that belongs to you now, and the second reading follows calmer, like the same picture taken after the dust has settled. You write them both, add the time, and realize that the shape of this week is different from so many you've lived before. Instead of carrying a single number like a stone in your pocket, you've gathered pairs that sit side by side and begin to look like a map. Patterns speak in a voice you can finally hear. You notice how mornings lean a touch lower when you settle for a few minutes first, how evenings come out clearer when you measure before the television starts, telling other people's stories inside your head. You notice that a tense phone call can echo for a while and that a short walk can sometimes smooth the line back down. None of this asks you to be perfect. It asks you to be consistent, and you have been. 2 readings, 1 minute apart, twice a day, written in the same place. It's not fancy, and that is why it works. You think back to the years when blood pressure felt like a quiz with trick questions. Tonight, it feels like a conversation you started and can finish. You will bring these pages to your clinician the way you'd bring a good map to a meeting, clear landmarks, honest turns, blank spots that invite real questions. Numbers that once felt like judgment now feel like information, and information is kinder than worry. If tomorrow is a busy day and the routine bends, you won't declare it broken. You'll return at the next quiet window and let the rhythm pick you up where you left off. Routines love returners. Wisdom keeps a seat at the table with you. If crushing chest pain ever arrives, if breath turns suddenly hard, if new weakness or numbness or strange speech shows up without warning, you won't wait to finish a reading. You'll call for help. Most days, though, will ask only for what your hands already know. Sit supported, feet grounded, forearm at heart level, cuff smooth on bare skin, 2 calm measurements with 1 quiet minute between, morning and evening, written down so the week can speak. Leave a gift for the you who wakes up tomorrow, Clip this week's page to the front of your notebook or take a clear photo and favorite it on your phone so it travels with you. Write a small title across the top of a new page week 2 and set the cuff on the monitor open and ready, not folded into a puzzle. Then make one simple promise you can keep. In the morning light, you'll press once, breathe through the minute, press again, and let the pattern, not a single number, guide the day. Before we say goodnight, gather the quiet truths you practiced until they felt like muscle memory. Your numbers tell a clearer story when your body feels held back, supported, feet on the floor, forearm resting at heart level, cuffs smooth on bare skin. The first reading is a snapshot. The second, taken one unhurried minute later, lets the noise step back so the signal can speak. Morning and evening pairs, written in the same place for 7 steady days, turn single moments into a pattern your clinician can trust. You don't chase a perfect value or press the button again and again. You take 2, you breathe, you record, and you let the week do the explaining. If a reading surprises you, you're grateful a second is coming. If life gets loud, you return at the next calm window and continue. Safety walks beside you for crushing chest pain, sudden hard breath, or new weakness or speech trouble. You call for help, not a number. If you try one thing now, let it be this tonight. Take your evening pair a minute apart and label the page, day 1 of 7. Then meet the morning with the same calm plan. Thank you for spending this time with EverWell USA. Like, subscribe, and share so a neighbor can find this steadier way to listen to their heart at home.